Okay, we've got a special collaboration on my show today, the one and only Rachel Amma.
Guys,
how are you?
I'm good.
Coming in the crib. So yes, guys, we have the legendary, the queen of YouTube, Rachel Amma on my show today, and we're going to show you how to make 2 simple, low-cost meals. What are you going to make?
I'm going to make like a winter spring green soup. It's going to be epic, delicious and hearty.
Nice, and I'm going to do Indian spiced, tandoori style roasted cauliflower. It's going to be beautiful. Should we get cooking? I'm starving. It's been a long time coming.
For my winter green soup, the first thing I want to do is cook some pasta. So we've got this tiny little bits of pasta here. They're so good for soups because they're just nice and small. So while I put that in to cook, you can help me chop up some things. So cool. That leek, that nice, cheap and cheerful, delicious leek.
Yes.
You can finally chop that up for me.
You knew you were coming on my Welsh cooking show, didn't you? I'll get you up.
Well, I'm a quarter Welsh, guys.
Oh, yes,
quarter.
I like you even more.
Quarter Welsh gang.
So, Rach, how do you want me to chop your leek?
Finely sliced, and use your magical chef skills.
You ask and you shall receive.
Let's all hone in. We can all learn a thing or two. Teach us, how do we properly finely slice a leek?
All right, so I would split it into 4. Well, I'd split it in half, then split it into 4, and then I'll just chop like so.
Techers.
So, Rach, I've got to talk to you. You've been smashing it over the last few years, and also been on live UK national TV.
Yeah.
And I bet your mum and all the friends like that have been going crazy, because I don't know about for you, but my mum and dad can't really relate to YouTube that much. As much as they see the numbers and stuff,
right,
they don't.
Right.
It's not like on TV, so they're not like overly excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you feel?
It was great. I think my grandma, who's Welsh, she's like my biggest champion. She tells everyone in the supermarket, go on Rachel's YouTube channel, and she's always like, how do I tell them how to get to your YouTube channel? So now she just gets to like be like,
business cards.
Well, she should. I'll let her know. But she gets me like, she tells all her friends back in Wales, they email me and say like, oh yeah, they're supporting me too. And yeah, it's good, it's amazing.
All right, is this fine enough for you?
This is absolutely perfect.
Okay, good.
I wish I could have you on my channel and you could just like chop everything.
Or you could just put it all in a blender.
Yeah.
Do you want me to chop anything else?
Garlic.
Garlic, okay. How do you want it chopped?
I don't think I mind if it's just sliced. I also want to add a little bit of spice, a little bit of heat because it is winter and cold, so I'm going to add in some fresh ginger. So if you could...
So I've got to chop that as well?
Yes, please.
I guess a thumb-sized piece.
Perfect. Yes. Everyone says a thumb size. Everyone's thumbs are different.
Well, the bigger your thumb, the better.
The food.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add some oil in a pan, bring it to heat.
Is that fine enough for you?
Perfect.
Yeah. So you ready to sort these off in the oil?
I'm ready. Should I use my hands?
Yeah, why not? Just don't drop any on the floor.
Oh, I love a sizzle.
Yes.
Do people ask you to make recipes without oil?
Yes, I always get asked to make recipes without oil.
And what do you say to that?
So I was trained in professional kitchens, like the traditional way of cooking, and that's with oil. And the reason why we do it is to add lubrication to the pan, or to add like a richness and fattiness to the food, which is very important for flavour. However, it's definitely not a health secret that you need. We shouldn't really be consuming huge amounts of oil. I think that we should use oil in moderation. If you're going to use it, only use a tiny bit. And if you're having a dish with loads of nuts in it, or olives in it, or avocados, you don't need extra fats. However, when you're cooking something like this, you want to get some caramelization on the leeks and the garlic, so it's important. And plus, it's such a big quantity you're making. That tiny tablespoon of oil isn't going to affect anything, and we're using really good quality oil too. So I guess you want me to chop this winter greens then? Yep. Give them a wash first. How do you want them? Do you want the stems removed or just chopped into?
I don't really want to encourage too much food waste.
Exactly.
So use as much of the stem as we can. With the winter green soup, you can add any greens. You can add kale, you can add spinach, you can also add other vegetables that you have in the fridge. So anything that's about to turn or is just left over, it goes perfectly in this. Just throw it all in there.
Yeah, this is the beauty of this recipe. It's like a low-cost recipe. Anything you have left over, it's perfect. Do you often, like, because we're cooking so much for like Instagram or YouTube, always it's like offcuts of certain bits. Often I'll just throw it into like a stew or a curry. That's what people should like know, is like trying to just use up stuff.
All the time.
All right, so you just want it shredded, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, so I just roll up the leaves and cut them together, it's easier. Okay, how's the pasta looking?
I think they're cool. They're like a little under, because they're gonna go in a soup.
Yeah. Yeah. This is zero waste cooking at its finest. Okay, so pasta's cooked, leeks are cooked nicely. I guess it's almost ready to start building the soup.
Building it up. I'm gonna add some water to the pan to start building the soup, but you can use vegetable stock as well.
Because you've got some nice flavour on the bottom of that pan already, there's going to be good flavour.
Yeah, picking up all that caramelization. Also, I love adding miso paste to recipes, especially vegan recipes. They add so much more flavour. So,
key ingredient, isn't it?
Key, a generous spoon. That was disgusting. Shall I do that again? Then to add some more flavour, I also want to add in some bay leaf.
Next, we're going to bring the soup to a simmer before adding the butter beans and the pasta. Smells beautiful already. Okay, so I guess you're going to bring that to a simmer, then add these greens, because they'll take a couple of minutes to cook. We don't want them to overcook. Never want veg to overcook. And also lemon, that's going to bring it to life, and some parsley too, and a bit of chili. I like the chili.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little heat.
Definitely. So, what is your most asked question?
Probably, it's not that interesting. It's not that fun. Probably, can you make without oil? Will you marry me? Will you live with me? Sometimes, like, can you do like keto recipes? My answer to that is no.
My answer is Z.
Yeah.
Before adding the greens and the finishing ingredients, Rachel's going to add some black pepper. Oof, get them greens in, girl. And if you want to add a little bit more liquid, you can always add the pasta water, which is going to help thicken everything too.
I've never used a ladle.
You've never used a ladle?
The excitement.
What?
I was literally going to buy one the other day.
How have you not used a ladle? What?
I know. God, I feel nervous chopping in front of Gaz.
Oh, that's so good.
So the soup's been cooking for about 10 minutes, so it's time for Gaz to kindly chop up some parsley. We're going to add some chili flakes on top and a little bit of nutritional yeast.
Actually, I forgot one of my most asked questions is, can I collaborate with Rachel Almer? Okay, so there's your parsley. You're going to get the chili in. I'll get some bowls and we can serve up. Okay, Rach, let's serve up.
Yes.
Are you excited? Look at this little presentation platter I have for you. I'm going to let you use your trusty ladle and serve it up.
I'm gonna go and buy one of these now.
Yes. Beautiful. Oh, look at that.
Am I ladling correctly?
Beautifully. There you go. It smells so good. So quick to make, cheap to make, warming on a winter's day. Do you want me to garnish these with a bit more parsley?
Yes, please. A little parsley, a little chili flakes.
And there we go. Look at that. Thank you for sharing that recipe with us. The first low-cost meal of the video. I'm really impressed. That's amazing. Should we give it a taste?
Let's give it a taste.
All right. So, Rach, let's give this a taste.
Yes. Smells so good.
It does. You did a good job. And low-cost ingredients, vibrant, warming. Well, let's just confirm all that when we taste it. Yeah.
Can I get a drizzle of olive oil?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Oh, that is so nice.
This is like rustic Italian cheap food that's got loads of rich flavors, because there wasn't many ingredients, but what you did, you were smart in the ingredients that you put in. So the miso paste, or whether it's just caramelizing the leeks, nutritional yeast, lemon, yeah, and parsley, they all bring the flavors and lift it, and salt as well.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And you can also add, I like to use like crushed macadamia nuts or crushed almond nuts, and I just kind of store them, and then I can sprinkle them on.
Definitely.
That adds some texture, and they're just like good foods to eat.
Yeah, I think all vegans at home, just sprinkle nuts and seeds on as many dishes as you can, because they're good for omega-3s and various other nutrients. We're not going to go into too much detail, but they're good for you, so put them on your dishes. So that's the first dish done. We're still going to do my dish now, which is my roasted Indian spice, tandoori style cauliflowers. So let's get cooking that next.
I love cauliflower, I can't wait.
So for my tandoori Indian style roasted cauliflower, first up I'm going to cut my cauliflower into big florets. Okay, so Rach, this is our cauliflower. I want it nice and chunky pieces. They're almost like fillets when you cut into them, essentially. And I want you to make a curry paste for me now. So into the blender, if you can add 2 red chilies, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 white onion, some tomato puree, ground turmeric, ground cumin, coriander, mace and fenugreek. Do you like my little pots?
Very cute.
And a little bit of salt and pepper. Okay, so we need to get this blitzed up until kind of smooth, and to help it blend, you can add a little bit of oil, but I'm going to add water today. Okay, then pop the lid on and blitz it up. And what I'm going to say about this curry paste is that there's more than enough for this recipe. So you can store it in the fridge for a few weeks. You can add it to curries. You can do, marinate tofu in it or something like that. So you can get loads of dishes out of this. So let's blitz this up until it's smooth. Okay, so basically there's lots of spices in there, as you know. Rather than just putting the cauliflower into it and then cooking it, I'd like to get those spices roasted first. So I'm going to get this pan hot, add a little oil and then roast them, and then we'll add the cauliflower.
That'd be so good. Oh, that smells so good.
Really?
All the flavours.
Ooh, yeah. Fire. You can adjust the level of heat depending on what you like. Just take a chili out or take the seeds out, or use a mild chili. So this pan is hot now. We want to add around, I'd say, a quarter of this, maybe a little bit more. And the rest of this paste can be stored in a container, like a sealed container in the fridge.
What would you make with it next?
You could make like a coconut. You could stir this into a coconut curry, into a stew. You can do like coat it tempeh or tofu in it. Yeah, it's nice. This is a quick cheats way though. So you want to cook this out now, get those spices cooking. I use quite a bit of oil there because that's going to add a real flavour to this. After all, it's just cauliflower. There's nothing going to come out of this other than water. You want to add some richness.
Yeah, you're going to keep the top nice and white, guys?
I literally was just thinking that. You've been telling me all day that I'm going to get something on it. I'm doing my best not to. So I'm going to cook this out for a couple of minutes. The smells now are going to be unbelievable.
Even looks amazing.
Yeah. And I'm cooking it in a oven-proof pan with a metal handle. So that means once I get the cauliflowers in, I can then just put the pan straight in the oven.
All in one pot.
Yeah. Oh, it's a one-pot meal too. Low cost, gluten-free, one-pot meal.
Leftovers.
For next time. And obviously when people buy spices, you're going to use a bit of the spice now, but then you don't need the whole bottle for this recipe. You can make it again and again, and every time you make this recipe, it's cheaper to make. So I'm cooking this down. As you can see, the liquids are coming out, the sugars are coming out, and that's going to caramelise and get lovely. Can you smell that? Okay, so we cook this for a little bit. Let's get that cauliflower in. And what I like to do is do the bottom side down first. The top side down first.
Why do you like to do that?
I just want to get a lot of colour on this, because when I turn it, it's going to be presented up, so I'd rather get this side coloured first as a priority.
Chef hacks.
And I'm just going to go around and make it look nice. Obviously, the bigger pan you have, the more cauliflower you can get in, and the more it'll serve. Okay, so we'll let them cook away, get some colour on them, and then I'll flip them over. So a good little chefy tip. When I used to cook fish, I was taught to like go around the pan in almost like a clock. setup, if that makes sense. So you start at number 12 and you go round, and then you know the first one to flip will be the number 12. So let's flip that one over now, and we should have a little bit of colour on there. There you go. Okay, so before these go in the oven, we're nearly there. They're going to obviously colour up even more in the oven, but what I like to do is give them a little bit of a steam, because it's going to be roasting, but we want to steam roast it almost. So a little bit of water.
Love it.
Let that bubble away, and then I'm going to cover it. I'm going to trap that steam and those flavours in by just covering it in foil and then getting it in the oven. So I'm going to now add some sultanas or raisins for a fruitiness. It works so well with spices, and some flaked almonds. You can add whatever nuts you like, whatever you have in your cupboard, or if you're allergic to nuts, just add some seeds. Okay, so you've got to cover this in foil now, but be very careful. Use a cloth, heats off.
What do you do, guys, if you don't have one of these pots?
So you could do it in a normal non-stick pan or whatever frying pan you have, and then just transfer them to a baking tray. The advantage of doing it like this is that it's a one-pot meal, obviously less washing up, but then also as it's cooking in the oven, the bottom bit is going to roast and caramelise, and then that's the nicest part for this dish for me. So that just goes in the oven now, and for about 30 minutes and 25 minutes into cooking, I'll take this off so it toasts and colours on top. The oven's set at 200 degrees Celsius, and I'm also going to serve the cauliflower with some rice, which I have cooking on the stove right now. How do you deal with negativity on your YouTube channel?
I don't really pay attention to it.
Fan.
I just don't pay. I'm like a positive person, and if I see negativity, I more kind of automatically think, oh, you're a negative person, maybe you're in a bad headspace. To make a negative comment, you're probably not that happy, and then I'm like, well, don't leave negative comments, I'm happy. So more so I just go, that's peak, but I'm alright over here.
Yeah, I mean, like, I put my heart and soul and everything I do into these videos.
Yeah, okay.
So like, when someone says the slightest negative thing, I'm just like, why do you need to do that? What's the point? Like, haven't you got something else to do? No one said anything negative to my face.
Catch up. What's your...
Oh, I smell that.
Oh, yum, I can smell that. Oh, fragrant.
Fragrant, that's the word.
What's your hack? Because I know so many people who can't cook rice. So for the people...
I don't know how you can not cook.
So many people make it mushy.
Oh, that's because they're not rinsing it first, and the starch is like made it really like thick and goopy basically. So you need to just wash off the starch first, and then you need to put an adequate amount of water in there so that it becomes fluffy. And also just cooking it with the lid on over a low heat, it's going to naturally steam as well. And then look, it's done now and it's fluffy and nice.
For the record, I can cook rice, but I know so many people who can't.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You got a new book coming out?
Yes. I do, I feel like you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
New book coming out 2020, April. Plants Only Kitchen.
Yes. I'm so excited.
It's going to be good. Yeah, because the first two books, they were quite complex for people.
Right.
This book is all about convenient, easy food for everybody to make. So I wanted to get as many people eating vegan food as possible, and that's what this book's for. Yeah. But obviously using the professional cooking skills that I got, I don't want people to think that the book's lost flair, because it hasn't. It's like still really good food. So let's get these cauliflowers out. Been in for about 30 minutes now. Whoa, there we go, look at that, sizzling away.
Look at all the different colours and the textures.
The best bit is actually what's on the bottom of this, so we'll dish it up now. Exactly. And we've got that there. That's it basically, but what's really nice to do is just over some coconut yogurt. So if you could drizzle over just in like a nice circle. No pressure now.
There's mad pressure now.
And I'm going to chop some coriander and drizzle that, sprinkle that over, instead. Perfect. Come on, Ray.
I've buckled.
And this will just cool it down because it could be a little bit spicy. It's really good also to have yogurt in your diet, vegan yogurt of course. So there you go, there's a coriander on top. Camera crew, you can get some close-ups now. cauliflower on. There you go, Rach.
Thank you.
Dish mine up now. Oh, there's some mango chutney and
Yes,
some lime
please.
pickle too. All right, so Rach, tell me what you think. This is my roasted Indian tandoori style cauliflower.
Mmm.
That's good.
That's really, really good. Yes, guys, this is approved. This is delicious.
Not too spicy?
Not too spicy. Perfect amount of spice.
Yeah.
I mean, I might start coughing later, but we'll see. Yum.
Another good winter one. That was a really good day of food, actually.
Yeah.
Started off with your amazing winter pasta stew or soup. It was beautiful.
Cheap
now
and
we've got
cheerful.
this spicy, pungent Indian cauliflower. Thank you so much for coming on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for what you do for everyone.
Aw, thanks,
And
guys. And
thanks
you.
for just being a legend and coming on my show. So don't forget to like, share and comment. Follow Rachel on Instagram and YouTube her, all the links for her below. Get her book as well. Rachel's
Rachel
Vegan
Almonds
Eats.
Vegan Eats, yeah.
I remember that. Got it over there. And yes, stay subscribed and keep watching my vids. See you soon. New book, April, Plants Only Kitchen. Yes. See you. Good at this. So,
If you want to cook in oil, lubricate those vegetables. Oh,
okay.
sorry. Sorry,
there
dear.
you go. And this was lovely. We still got one more to cook. I want to do my... What the? Where's your water?
I was like, how long can I last while Gaz is talking to not cough? And I was like, no, no.
So, Rach, I get asked a lot of the same questions all the time. One of them is, will I marry you? People just ask me, will I marry them? That's really strange, isn't it? Just like randomly shooting their shot. Will you marry me on someone's Instagram or YouTube? Very strange. I don't think I'd ever do that, but there you go.
I'm accepting proposals, so.
Right, I'm just about to get on that. I'm joking.